Welcome to NFL Weekly, the series where we're going to go through each week of the off-season. It's going to be off-season edition of it, where we go through what I think are the most interesting headlines from the previous week in the NFL in the off-season, because obviously this is probably the most quietest time of the year, especially when it's just been mini camps. Training camps don't start till the Patriots the 26th of July. So I said, why not kind of a brief kind of recap each week of the goings on in the NFL and the drama that goes on, because we have nothing really to talk about other than these little tidbits every day. So it's easier to do a weekly basis where there's going to be a 7-week period where it gives us a chance for more things to happen, because like I said, not much is going on. There's no football being played. Pads aren't even on in practices yet. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is going to be the NFL gambling policy. They've come out with fairly strict 6 rules that they put in, which is obviously number 1 is the most obvious, which is don't bet on the NFL. Number 2, don't gamble at team facilities, home or away. That means anything to do with team buses, team like away locker rooms, anything. Don't have someone bet for you, because another thing that I think was a thing in America is Ireland is not, because we can just bet anywhere we are. But when Vegas was one of the more only legal states for betting, that you'd be able to have a guy hedge a bet for you in that state. Obviously something that in every state in America isn't legal for betting yet, but players aren't allowed to do that. Don't share inside info. Obviously Calvin Ridley thing was a situation where he didn't know if he's betting against his own team or for his own team. That's not allowed for players either. Don't enter betting sports books during the NFL season. That's fairly self-explanatory. I think they are allowed to bet in other sports, but anyway. And don't play daily fantasy football, which is like FanDuel and stuff like that, where you're betting on daily goings on. It pretty much is fairly self-explanatory. I don't see how players are getting caught with this stuff. Just don't bet on the NFL. It's fairly simple. You make enough money. Like with the Calvin Ridley stuff, it seemed to be $1,500 or something he was spending on these bets. It was nothing big, so it's not worth it at all. The next headline, which came up, is almost pretty much gone now, but it was fairly interesting when it came up, was Dalvin Cook saying that he would love to play with wherever DeAndre Hopkins goes. Now, as a Patriot, obviously this is what I was hoping for, because DeAndre Hopkins, we'll get to in a bit, is looking between the Patriots and the Titans as of now, as his 2 teams. So that puts us in fairly big running if it came to a Dalvin Cook situation, where we have obviously a Ramondre Stevenson who's amazing, but like compare him to Derrick Henry, it's fairly obvious that if there was a fit of the 2 teams, it would go for us better if DeAndre Hopkins ends up going for us. Dalvin Cook now got released from the Vikings after they couldn't find a trade partner for them. He's only 27 years old, so he's on the older end in the running back, what's the word I'm going to use? Running back area, I guess. 4-time Pro Bowler, is coming off 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He is still one of the best backs in the league, but like I said, he's a running back. He's not the Vikings didn't want to pay him what he wanted, so that's kind of where you're going with. I guess I should go into the Patriots side, but that was my notebook. DeAndre Hopkins, where I was just saying D-Hop wants to, Dalvin Cook said he wants to play with D-Hop, but obviously he's not tying himself down to that. As of now, I think Thursday, DeAndre Hopkins said he's still deciding between the 2 teams. Reports are saying it's possible he doesn't sign until July 26th or 25th, when training camp starts, or even the start of preseason games, because he just simply, at his age, doesn't want to practice anymore, doesn't like practicing, doesn't feel like he needs to. So that's got a long wait. Now, he might make a decision that he wants to sign and commit to a team, but not sign until then. But sticky situation where maybe Dalvin Cook is also waiting on DeAndre Hopkins' decision, because I know the Patriots and Titans, because we're kind of in limbo where what happens there. But like I said, that was the Dalvin Cook. Stephon Diggs' issues, again, in the D-Hop situation, our part is Stephon Diggs held out to start of minicamps. I think he ended up going anyway, eventually, a couple of days later. That was all due to him being unhappy with the lack of signings that the Bills made in this offseason. The draft even wasn't that big either. They just took Dalton Kincaid. But when you look at what they have in their wide receiver room, you can see why he's upset. Apart from Stephon Diggs, they have Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, who is an emerging tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who's a rookie, Trent Sherfield. That's kind of the top end of what they have, other than now they signed Damian Harris, but that's a running back. He's not I love him, but he's not explosive. He's not a game changer. And James Cook, who they want to make step forward, was a rookie last season. Now Stephon Diggs did sign a 4-year, $96 million contract last year, so it's unlikely he goes anywhere, but something to watch. And it's you saw in the playoffs even last year when the Bills got knocked out, he was visibly annoyed with Josh Allen on the sideline. On the good end for the Bills, they did extend head coach Sean McDermott and their GM Brandon Beane until 2027. Since Sean McDermott's been there, he's gone 62-25 since 2017. He's had 4 playoff wins, has won the AFC East three straight years. I think 3 straight years, yeah. And even this year, even though Rodgers is there, they do kind of seem like the guys at the forefront in the division. As a Patriots fan, I do like the Jets are probably there now, but the Bills, until proven otherwise, are still the guys. Miami don't know what they're doing, so there is that to do. Jack Jones, and in staying in the AFC East, was arrested for trying to bring 2 guns on a plane. Now he's pleaded not guilty. He could face somewhere of up to 30 years if he is found guilty. His lawyer currently claims that he had no knowledge of these guns, that it was his entourage or people with him that were bringing it on. He had no idea. You don't really know. He's had a lot of disciplinary issues throughout his college career, through his, like, even last year, you could see there's something wrong. Now he's a massive loss for my Patriots, where our defense is obviously one of the best in the league. Going into next season, we think it's one of the best in the league, but not having Jack Jones dwindles the cornerback room a lot. It kind of means that Jalen Mills he can't go into what we thought he was going to be in being a safety. Now he kind of has come forward. Jonathan Jones probably has go back on the corner as a forefront of the cornerbacks as well again, which is what you didn't really want. You wanted him to kind of take a roll back with Christian Gonzalez and Jack Jones, but that was probably not going to be sorted for the season. Patriots probably have their own issues they'll have with this. It's not looking good for Jack Jones, which is sad because, like I said, talented but has his issues. And lastly and leastly, I just want to bring up the fact that the Detroit Lions have a new helmet, and it genuinely looks like the lion on the helmet was made on Microsoft Paint. It is fairly awful. I don't know why they're doing it or who designed it, but yeah, it's not a great look. And Lions have I like their colorway and the way. I like the grey, blue, and navy kind of grey, not navy, white. White is the colour thing that they go with, and it just looks awful for a team that's getting better. It's a random tidbit, but I don't like it, and I usually like uniform changes that come front, but this is definitely the wrong direction. But anyway, that's the most meanest of it. That is the first installation of the NFL weekly episodes, and this will go weekly through off season. Like I said, just gonna go recap the week of what happened during the week in the news. So that's it. So let me know if I missed anything you thought was interesting. Tyreek Hill was another one, but with altercations and like not showing minicam and stuff. There's a lot of people holding out and stuff, but I might do something separate about that. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next time when everything comes up.